likely more than 50% of people will die. And they will die from a brutal, violent death where they bleed out of every orifice of their body. Do you want to bleed out of every orifice of your body, Barry?
Well, absolutely not, and that's why I'm going to stay right here and not leave Mississippi.
Good evening, or afternoon, or morning, or night, wherever, depending on where you are in the world watching us. My name is Chrome Falcon. My friends know me as Zane. This is Barry.
And I'm Barry, also known as the White Hawk, or White Hawk for short.
We are two men in a bunker, and we're coming to you to talk to you about doomsday threats that you may face, how to survive, how to protect your family. Today we're going to be talking about viral pandemics.
Or Ebola, or Zika, or the Black Death.
There are a lot of different viral pandemics that may threaten you and your family.
MRSA, avian bird flu.
Barry, do you want to start off with a few statistics?
Well, if you live in America, you should be fine, because most of these diseases are quarantined to other countries that most Americans don't visit anyway, like Africa, the Middle East, Asian countries, South America, Mexico, Eastern Europe, Russia. Most of those diseases.
It's actually not correct.
Most of the time, you travel from those countries here for school or whatever. Most of the times you don't. You know, no one goes to Africa, for example.
People do go to Africa.
Well,
and that's why it
Doctors
is a threat.
Without Borders goes to Africa,
right?
And they will come back, and they could bring a virus back.
Right.
However, they go through the hazmat series of events where they wash you down and everything when you get off the plane.
But all it takes in order for this to happen is one person going to the wrong outbreak, coming back, and spreading a virus, a deadly virus, to the entire United States. Now, how does that occur?
Travel. So the thing is just, there's no need to travel. Everything you need is right here in America. I will never go to Africa. I'll never leave my state. I might go to Yellowstone, but I'll never leave my state. And if I wanted to see a zebra in his natural habitat, I would go to the zoo. You know, and our local zoo has all the Africa animals.
You can see all those animals.
They also
at
have
the zoo.
A military discount for veterans.
It's a lot more cost effective to go to your local zoo than to travel to a place where viruses are ravaging the population.
Right, and I'm not a veteran, but I am in my heart.
Do you want to put your family at risk just to go see a zebra?
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Go to the zoo. Also, they're really making a lot of strides in virtual reality, so it's just going to be like you're there anyway. So don't go to Africa.
Photo safari online. Keep the costs down.
Don't go to any Asian country.
Reinvest that money into your preparedness. You say, all right, I'm convinced I'm not going to Africa on a safari or any other foreign country where there is any disease. Good. I'm glad we convinced you. Now, you're still at risk.
I won't even go to Canada.
The reason why is because all it takes is one person who doesn't follow this advice and they travel to a place. I'm going to go on a safari. I've always wanted to do that. Or I'm going to go to some foreign destination. I'm going to visit China. And then I'm going to get swine flu and bring it back to America. That's exactly what's going to happen.
They hate our freedom and they're full of disease. They're
going to bring that disease back. Then they're going to go to the grocery store. And they're going to touch avocados and Granny Smith apples. And here you are just going in. You just want to make some guacamole and an apple pie. And next thing you know, your family has Ebola.
There's a couple things you can do, though, just in case that does happen. You can have a stockpile of antiviral medications.
Wash your fruits and vegetables.
Yes, you need to avoid sexual contact for the most part, especially with people you don't know very well. Unless you're married, you shouldn't be having sex, basically. Even heavy petting, that can lead to the transmission. Skin to skin, spit, saliva.
Any type of sexual contact can spread the disease.
Unclean surfaces.
So ideally what we recommend for your safety is that you are in a committed monogamous relationship where there is no chance of viral contamination.
Yeah, you're just swapping the same fluids back and forth. You're keeping them in-house. You can't give it back and forth between you and your sexual monogamous partner. I mean,
yeah, you can.
You can give it to them one time.
Right, but the point is...
They're not going to give it to you again.
True.
Really, the only thing you can do in that situation is just stay hydrated and wait, because most of these things aren't fatal.
Yeah, most of them are fatal. The ones we're talking about are absolutely fatal. Critical illnesses will kill you.
It's just the flu, though. I mean,
no.
All of these it's all called influenza.
Right.
It's just the flu. And so
serious.
You can go to your local Walgreens, you can get the shot, and you should be fine.
That's incorrect, Barry. H1N1, the swine flu, avian flu, those are deadly. Ebola is a major killer.
In Africa.
Likely more than 50% of people will die. And they will die from a brutal, violent death where they bleed out of every orifice of their body. Do you want to bleed out of every orifice of your body, Barry?
Well, absolutely not, and that's why I'm going to stay right here and not leave Mississippi. I'm not going to Africa on safari. I go to the zoo.
Right. There's an outbreak. It hits the news. What do?
Well, we're fortunate where we live because no one vacations here.
Yes.
We've never had a visitor.
That is important, is to live in a geographically isolated area.
Anyone in my town I didn't recognize.
Be in an isolated area where there's very little interstate commerce. That is an ideal for surviving a contagion type event.
We have one road in and one road out, one gas station, one grocery store.
We do have alternate routes out, but as far as main highways go, that is true.
Oh, you could take the dirt road out east side, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we have multiple routes in and out,
That'll
but
get you to
they're
the
not
interstate.
on maps.
It'll get you to the interstate. It takes about 6 hours, and no one's going to jump off the interstate to take that dirt road.
No.
So I suggest you move to a very low population, very secluded town in the south, but not here.
No.
We don't need any more people here.
Yeah, we're full. So you turn on the news, and you see on the news, viral pandemic, New York City, it's spreading. If it's in New York, it's going to be anywhere. You may say, oh, well, it's not a big deal, it's in New York. No, if it's in New York, it's going to spread throughout the United States because New Yorkers love to travel. And they just want to travel all over the place.
That's literally all they do.
Yeah, so it's going to skip the middle of the United States first because they consider that the flyover states, they don't think the flyover states are important. Well, little do they know those are the states that are going to survive more than likely. So they are going to contaminate the West Coast first, then they're going to contaminate other major populated regions along the coast, but from there...
Most of you will be fine.
No, not necessarily, because you also have truckers traveling all over the United States delivering food and goods, etc. That's how it's going to spread. More than likely with truckers.
It's like a virus.
It is.
So the best thing you can do is just stay home.
Right.
Duct tape up your windows. Don't go anywhere. Just, you basically quarantine yourself and your family.
Pull your kids out of school.
Yeah.
Stop going to your work. Hopefully you have a home-based business that's online and enough customers are surviving outside.
And most people do these days with Instagram.
If enough customers can stay alive, they can continue to purchase items from you online. You never have to have skin-to-skin contact with them.
Right.
Excuse me. I've had like a chest cold going. The likelihood of this happening depends on which event we're talking about. Some I feel like are some are much more likely than others. What are your numbers, Barry?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
So 30% chance of a super virus.
I'd say close to a 40-50% chance.
Killing
the population. Actually, well, I'd say about a 10% chance.
You look at something like the Black Plague, which swept across Europe, killed 33% of the population.
But that's before we had flu shots and all that. They didn't have any medicine back then. They just bled you.
Right.
Right.
That is true. But
right. So I think as long as you're up to date on your vaccines,
vaccinations,
I think you should be okay.
Well, you got to be careful with that, Barry.
Because of autism?
Just a number of reasons. We'll have to get into that in another video.
I have an aunt by marriage, and she posts a lot of memes on Facebook, and I'm starting to kind of think that maybe there is some truth to this. And also our president, he said something about vaccines. But that's neither here nor there.
Importantly, you want to have a good immune system. I have an excellent immune system.
He's never even been to the doctor.
I generally avoid the doctor. I feel like you're a much higher percentage chance risk of death if you're visiting a doctor.
I would go every week if I could, but I don't have insurance.
I also eat a lot of raw vegetables and raw garlic. Helps to protect your immune system.
Ugh.
I take about 40 different supplements every day. That helps to protect my body without needing pharmaceutical drugs.
I take a 1 a day.
So make sure you're taking something. Hopefully more than one. But take as many health supplements as you can is my personal opinion. Of course, we're not doctors, so we're not allowed to give medical advice.
But take as much as you can afford.
So percentage chance of a global pandemic killing half of the world's population, I'm going to put that at 50%. Barry?
Oh, I disagree, of course, because...
You disagree?
I believe you and I trust you, but I just know that most people don't travel to those countries. And if they do, it's a Doctors Without Borders situation, and they are hazmated when they return to the States. So it's what we had one case of Ebola in Texas.
If that one case had spread, that's just a lucky accident, because if that's a happy accident is what I'd call it, because if that one person had spread it, that would be so out of control they never could have stopped it. Half the population of the United States dead, more than likely. And so here's another thing.
Well, they would have just started administering vaccines.
You cannot, they didn't have one at the time.
They would have made one, though.
Not fast enough. Everybody would have died. Some of the gear we recommend buying: surgical gloves, duct tape for your windows, a ventilation system.
Class A HazWhopper suit.
Every member of your family should have a hazmat suit with self-contained breathing apparatus.
Right. And
HEPA filtration.
If you're like me and you have kind of a financial situation, a handkerchief
It's better than nothing.
Is better than nothing.
But we do recommend going as soon as you can. You need to go.
It won't get you far, but it'll get you somewhere.
That's right. That's why Barry doesn't travel. So
I can't afford to travel. I can't afford all the gear.
Have a stockpile of antiviral medications, a stockpile of antibiotics, although we advise against using antibiotics because they disrupt your gut flora. That's a topic for another video, but only use them if absolutely necessary, like you're dying.
And also refrain from sexual intercourse unless it's someone you're married to or in a committed relationship, because that's how a lot of these viruses get spread.
Well, folks, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a comment here and let us know what you think the percentage chance of a global super virus killing 50% of the population is. Also, maybe pick what's your favorite virus for that destruction. Like, what do you think's going to kill everybody? We'd be interested in knowing that.
Mine's whooping cough.
That's a good one, Barry.
I like the way it sounds.
So go ahead and leave that comment.
Tuberculosis.
Start a nice little discussion on viruses, deadly things. Stay posted. Make sure you subscribe for updates. We have some really important information coming out we can't reveal right now, but we're going to reveal it in another video that we may post in like another day or two. This is Chrome Falcon signing out.
This is White Hawk signing out.
And just remember that true preppers never die. Barry, I think I'm getting sick.
It sounds like it.